We have some new makeup that we are going to be playing with today. New makeup that we have today. I do have a new foundation. This is the new Lumi Le Glow Tint, and I have the shade 120 Natural, and this is from L'Oreal. It's a new skin tint. So I'm just going to put on some of this primer and read off to you guys the information about the new Lumi Le Glow Skin Tint from L'Oreal. It is a $16.99 foundation. $16.99. And currently the shade that I have, which is 120 Neutral, is sold out on the Ulta website, but they do have other shades that are available. It comes in 16 shades. That's actually a pretty good shade range for a skin tint. It is Conscious Beauty. It's part of Conscious Beauty. It says it's vegan, has clean ingredients, and it gives back. I don't know what exactly that means, but apparently it's clean beauty at Ulta. So it says, unleash your radiance with the L'Oreal Paris Lumi Le Glow Tint. It's a lightweight, hydrating skin tint with a healthy glow. It's breathable coverage, and it's great for all skin types. It says, discover the healthy glow that meets the breathable coverage of a foundation in a lightweight, water-based skin tint by L'Oreal Paris. It's formulated with reflective pearls, a blurring pigment, and 82% hydrating serum for a healthy, soft, light glow. It provides a natural makeup result and minimizes color imperfection. It's a weightless texture, and it melts into the skin for a breathable second skin finish. It's easy to blend and build. Your skin will feel moisturized and it won't feel greasy. It seamlessly evens out your skin for a smoother looking skin, suitable for all skin types. There's a lot of information with this. I'm going to put just a little bit on the back of my hand so we can see here what this looks like shade match wise. This is going to be a good shade match. I want to see the glow in it real quick. So let's just shear this out on my face, my hand. We're shearing it out on my hand. It is a pretty good shade match. It's super glowy. I'm actually going to just put some of the excess on my face real quick. We're going to apply this with a beauty blender, and the beauty blender is damp. We're just grabbing some of the excess off of my hand here. This is why it gets so nice. So it's supposed to be a very weightless a weightless feeling skin tint, and it is super runny. So that's really interesting. I'm applying it with a beauty blender first. I just want to see what the coverage is like with the beauty blender. I find with the beauty blender, it tends to shear out product really nicely on my face. And when it is damp, it also just doesn't absorb the product as much. It's going to be a lightweight. It said lightweight finish. It didn't really say if it was light coverage, medium coverage, but we're thinking here because it's a skin tint, it's going to be a very lightweight coverage foundation. I also find it kind of interesting that they're coming out with a skin tint. This skin tint was literally released right at the end of December, beginning of October. I'm totally messed up right now. This skin tint was actually released at the end of December of 2024. And I actually noticed it on my Ulta Beauty website on Christmas Day. And that's actually when I had it purchased. But it's really surprising that they're coming out with a skin tint during the winter months, because usually skin tints are a really big thing summer. This doesn't have an SPF in it, so that is surprising too. Usually a skin tint, usually a drugstore foundation, will have a some sort of SPF in it. But I'm just really surprised that they're marketing this in winter when we are in the height of dry skin. Maybe that's why, because dry skin, and this is a skin tint and it has skin loving ingredients in it. Maybe that's why they're marketing it right now. That might be why. In any case, I digress. It kind of feels out of place that, they would be releasing a skin tint. It is ranging on the $16.99. This is a $17 skin tint. So it seems like it's a little bit steep, but I'm actually kind of liking the way that my skin looks. It's super glowy, super, super dewy. The skin match is not terrible. It is a little bit dark for me. I actually thought this was going to be too light, but it's a little bit too dark. It kind of gave me like a tan, as you can tell, just a little bit, but not a lot. But the skin is super dewy, like really, really dewy. It kind of feels like they put just like luminizers in this, and I feel like it's accentuating like every single pore on my face. Accentuating a lot on my face, like a lot. I feel like my pores are really, really like heavily exaggerated. I'm going to take a video with my phone. This is what it looks like. It looks super texturized. Like you can see all the texture in here. Yowza. So I'm just going to put a little bit of my Fit Me concealer on. This is more of a mattifying concealer. So hopefully it will just like get rid of some of the texturization that is under my eyes. And it'll just like even everything out. And it'll conceal. The shade that I have in the Fit Me is actually a shade that matches my under eyes quite a bit. It's the shade 10, and it's like the perfect shade match for me just to like conceal. I don't need to brighten with this at all, but I'm hoping that because it's more of a matte formulation, it'll get rid of some of the like texture on my face. Because like that ain't pretty. I take some of my LA Girl pink pressed powder. I did feature this in a recent video. Actually, the Fit Me and this one were actually in a recent video about my most used in 2024. And this is just a pink, like brightening setting powder. And I'm putting this in places that I really want to just like set down. I'm actually going to kind of bake it a little bit because I have a lot on there. I feel like the extra dew in this skin tint is really like accentuating like a lot of the pores, and it just doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very good. It looks kind of questionable to me, sir. Since we're using L'Oreal, I'm just going to go in with this L'Oreal bronzer. I said blonzer. Going in with the L'Oreal Infallible bronzer. And I mean, we're using L'Oreal skin tint today, so I was like, oh, that's fitting. Let's just use this L'Oreal bronzer. It's oxidizing on my skin right here. I see it right in here. It's oxidizing. Hello. Well, good thing we're putting on bronzer, so it'll kind of even everything out. But yeah, it's oxidizing, and it is really settling like on my skin funny and making me look like old and crevassy. Okay, for blush, I have two different ones. One is a formulation that I tried in 2024, the Milani Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush. This is in the shade Rosalia, and it's almost like a purpley shade, but then we also have a new, so technically that's a new release, but we also have this new release, and it is the Makeup Revolution Pink Party Beam Bright Blush. Now, I do have the highlight of the Beam Bright collection. I'm actually going to pull it out because I think these are supposed to be dupes for the Rare Beauty. So this is one of the Beam Bright highlights that I have. It's in Rose Luster. We might actually use that today, but we do have this Beam Bright blush, and we're going to use this one today. I actually got to find something to open it with, though. It's like the way they package this is just a disaster. Jeez Louise, I almost dropped it. So the Beam Bright Blush from Makeup Revolution, the shade that I have is called Pink Party. There are 4 options in total, and this retails for $10. It says that it is Revolution Beauty's Beam Bright Blush. It's a silky velvet touch blush with a soft luminous finish to add color and dimension to the cheeks. Is anybody else getting Rare Beauty vibes off of this? I'm actually going to swatch it. It's like a little bit chalky. We're going to swatch it on the back of my hand here like this, and then I'm just going to like shear it out. So that's what it looks like all sheared out. It's not really like super impressive. It is like dark in the pan, but I'm kind of getting this feeling that it's like super lackluster. Like this should be a little bit more pigmented than what I'm thinking. Like I wish this was more pigmented. At least it looked more pigmented. So I'm just going to take my blush brush and we're going to apply this on the cheeks. So it says it's a silky powder formula. It provides an effortless radiance to the skin. It has 4 buildable pigmented shades that it comes in. It's a compact design that's perfect for on the go. And it pairs perfectly with the Beam Bright highlighter, which I do have. That is more pigmented than what I thought it was going to be. It's definitely like a blush lighter, and it really is reminding me of the Pure Nude Baked Blushes from Essence that are like that baked blush formula. I actually have one of them. It's called Rose, Pink Rose or something like that, Shimmery Rose. So that's this one here. This one's a little bit lighter, but that's what the formula reminds me of. It's not really getting a lot of kickoff like in the pan when I'm like pressing my brush into it. That's a good thing, but I feel very beamy. Like Rare Beauty. This reminds me of Rare Beauty a lot. And then it says to pair it with the Beam Bright highlighter. Now, this highlighter I actually have had for a little bit now. The one shade that I'm using is called Rose Luster. So we're just gonna put this on. That's actually a really pretty like combination. Wow, what is going on here? It settled into something funky right in here. Don't know what. But it definitely, like, I have like creasing right in here really bad. Like, and it's from the foundation because it's that oxidization. Like, that is just so weird. So I'm going to try evening that out a little bit. Definitely from the foundation though. That's just weird. But overall, the skin looks okay. It doesn't look as highlighty as what it did now that I have some powder products on. But I do feel very like beaming, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it just feels so like over the top highlighty. I'm noticing that it is like really texturizing in here, and we did put the concealer on, so that did help quite a bit, but it is texturizing like in here too. Like, oh my gosh, like how many pores do I have in this area right here? Like, that's just a lot of porridge to me. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the super glowy foundation. I think it's really settling into some weird things on my face. I feel very like glittery. The blush is pretty, but it just looks so like beam me up too much. Like beam me up too much. So before we do the eyes, I'm going to do my lips. There is a new like, this is the Super Stay Teddy tint from Maybelline. And this comes in 10 shades. It retails for $12.99. It is also a part of the Conscious Beauty at Ulta. It says give back, but it is called the Super Stay Teddy Tint from Maybelline. Lasts for 12 hours. It says up to 12 hours. Non-transfer. It has 10 buildable shades. It says wear it sheer, blurred, bold, or even on the cheeks. I'm not a fan of putting things on my cheeks, but I did want to put it on my lips because it just looks so pretty. So the shade, what shade did I get? 35 July Forever. So we're going to put this on. We're going to see how it works. See if it's transfer proof. It's a soft lip color, no transfer, smudge proof, kiss proof, and waterproof. Okay. Ooh, it's like velvety. Very blurred, and it almost has this like gel like texture. Like velvety but jelly at the same time. That's super interesting. So I'm just gonna build it up. I actually like it with this applicator because it's like blurring on the lips, and this is like totally reminding me of like Valentine's Day lips, holiday lips even. Like, this is really pretty because it's a red, but it's like a pinkish red, so it's really like, this is really pretty. And it's velvety and it's not sticking to like anything. I might like this. All right, we're going to move on to the eyes. And I think this eyeshadow palette is fitting because of the red lip. We're going to be trying out today the new mini from Natasha, Denona. This is the mini eye sculpt palette. It retails for $27 at Ulta Beauty. And basically this was intended to sculpt the eye. It is all matte shades from Natasha Denona, and it's in her mini palette. So I was like, oh, this is a really good like matte palette where it's all matte, so you could use it to fill in your brow hairs if you wanted to. You can use this for liner if you want to, and you can pair it with like one other small palette that is like multi-chromes or just foil shades in general, and you got yourself like a really easy travel eyeshadow palette. So I'm going to prime my eyelids with the Sigma Beauty primer. The shade that I have is called Ignite. And this is such a good eyeshadow primer. I forgot to include it in my best of 2024. Definitely go check out that video, like the whole video, but this is the ultimate eyeshadow primer that I used in 2024. It was recommended to me by Robert Welsh. I purchased my own, and then Sigma sent me another one. So I actually have two of these. And to tell you that I've used both of them, I have, because I misplaced one of them, but I have used so much of this. It's crazy how much I have used of this eyeshadow primer. It is so good because it's matte and it doesn't disturb the makeup at all. It's so pretty. So let's swatch this. And I'm also going to read off like what Natasha Denona describes it as. I do have a code on Natasha Denona. It's XOXO Staci Roberge, and it does save you some money, and that is affiliated. But if you wanted to save some money on this eyeshadow palette, then you can purchase it through Natasha Denona with my code. And I believe it saves you 15%. So it offers all matte neutral shades in the iconic creamy and silky matte formula for smooth sculpting, blending, and layering with a natural airbrushed finish. From classic everyday to bold smoky eyes, palette pairs perfectly with other colors and textures. That's what I'm talking about. I was thinking like this would be the perfect palette, companion palette to take traveling if you have like a full multi-chrome palette, or even just like a handful of like single multi-chromes, and then you have these mattes and you're good to go. Because these are like super buttery and super pigmented. So that's what they all look like. I'm actually going to swatch these on the back of my wrist here just to see. Oh yeah, those are like super buttery. The lightest shade right here, this doesn't really show up on my skin very well. It's definitely very skin toned for me. The shade is called Fair. That's all it's called. We have fair, light, medium, deep, and black. Whoops. Fair, light, medium, deep, black, all the way over here. And this is a super matte black shade. So let's just take a look at these swatches. They're awful, but they do swatch out nicely, and they are very, very buttery. What are we gonna use on my eyes? Okay, so I have an EO6 from Singe Beauty. I am gonna use the medium shade because this is like a good medium tone for me, and I'm just gonna start building this up right on the outer corner. I don't really want to use this as a crease shade. I am just going to use this as like an outer corner shade. The one thing I wish, and I know that there are many, but I wish they had mirrors. So I need to find something with a mirror. So I'm just using the EO6 from Singe Beauty and just like building up that medium shade. It honestly feels more like a neutral brown. It's not too neutral, but it's also not too like it's not warm or cool tone. It's kind of like in between. So I'm just patting this on and then doing sweeping motions to blend it into the eye, taking it like to the inner third. Lots of kick up in the pan, but I mean, that is not surprising of Natasha Denona formula. She does have some kick up in her pan, but they're also like super blendable and buttery. That's really blendable. It's so pretty. I'm not going to clean off my brush because I want these to kind of like melt together, but I am going to use the dark brown. And we're going to also place that right here on the outer corner. Just like tapping it in. Stamp, stamp, stamp. Okay. So that's what the eyes are looking like. I'm going to take this shade. It's the light shade. Not fair, just light. We're going to right here, put it on the inner corner, and really just like blend these shades a little bit better together. This is like super, I'm not a matte person by any means, but I'm actually enjoying the fact that there are shades that like you can really use to sculpt out your eye. Now I'm going to use my Sigma switch, and I'm going to dip into that fair shade This is like almost like white, and it looks white on my skin. So white. And we're just going to take this on the brow. Oh yeah, see, look at that. I feel like we're doing 2016 makeup, but we're putting it on the brow bone. And look how it just nicely diffuses the color. Actually enjoying this like matte palette. I'm not a matte person by any means. I am going to add a shimmer because I'm a shimmer person. I like shimmers. So I do have a build my own palette. I actually have to update this one, but this one I used a lot for the holidays. And in this palette, I have Meteorite from Terra Moons. This is like my favorite shade. Actually, we might use a Cleona shadow too. We have a Cleona shadow down here. These are super pretty. One is got like a pink, one has like a yellow, green shift to it. And the Meteorite shade like sparkly, whereas the Cleona one is a little bit more smooth. Which one? Which one shall we use? I think we're going to use the Cleona shadow. Just right here to give my eye a little pop. Now I'm going to take the medium shade again, and this is that clean brush, but we're just going to go along the lower lash line and kind of like diffuse this out. We have the Paradise Big Deal mascara from L'Oreal. We have a lot of L'Oreal in this video today. Well then, so the Paradise Big Deal, it's a buildable volume and lengthening mascara. Paradise Big Deal Volumizing and Lengthening Washable Mascara. It comes in 3 options. Blackest Black is the one that I got. It retails for $15.99. That is a lot, guys. It is vegan, it has clean ingredients, and it says make your lashes a big deal. The Big Deal Volumizing and Lengthening Washable Mascara delivers endless volume and length, clump-free, buildable coverage. We will see if it does what it's supposed to. It has a very spiky wand, to say the least. I do like the color of the packaging. It's like a rose gold, but we'll see if it is a clump-free formulation and if I have length and volume once we are done applying this mascara. Okay, that's really pretty. I do have to say it isn't clumping, like hardly at all, and I am building it up really nicely. Okay. Okay. I'm really liking the eyes. I think that this mascara combined with this, like this looks so pretty. I can't get over it. And I really like this like tint, whatever this is called, the Teddy tint. I'm enjoying this because my lips don't feel dried out at all. Now we're going to put on this lip oil. It is the Fruit Fetish lip oil from Milani. The shade that I have is Luminosa, which is like their classic Luminoso shade. But I thought it just looked so pretty and like so juicy. So I wanted to try it with this lip tint today. This is definitely like, I feel like I could do Valentine's lips. Like this is a Valentine's Day lip combination. I really feel like that's super pretty. Okay, here we have the completed makeup look. My hair is done. And how are we liking the middle part? I don't know if I like the middle part or not. I don't know. Anyway, we have the completed makeup look. I do have to say I am completely blown away by that mascara. Holy crow, my eyes look so pretty. I am thoroughly impressed because I don't like the Lash Paradise mascara, and this is kind of like in the same family, but the wand is definitely different, and my eyes look so like fluttery, full, and lengthened at the same time. It's really pretty. I will see how it washes off at the end of the night, and look in the comment box down below for some final thoughts on this. I do love this lip combination. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's going to be... Could this be my Valentine's lip combination? Quite possibly, because it's gorgeous. I do really like the shade. I love the way that this feels like velvety, but it also feels kind of gelish and like moisturizing on my lips, and how it really just like settles right into my lips, and it didn't over accentuate like anything that's going on, like any like I have textured lips, I have dry lips, and it didn't accentuate like anything like that at all. And I really like it paired with this Milani Luminoso lip oil, the Fruit Fetish lip oil. Super pretty combination. I love it. And the Natasha Denona eye sculpt. This is so good. I actually really enjoy this. And I think that like if I had another, like I have some singles that I could just like throw into like a travel palette, take this with me, this would be like my travel combination, because this is like, these are the perfect brown shades for me. They're not too warm, they're not too cool, they're kind of like a neutral shade. And it also comes with that matte black, which also makes it really easy to be able to do some like black winged liner with this, or even do like a dark brown liner, which I think would be really stunning on a very simple eye. And then you just throw in maybe a little bit of glitter, maybe a little bit of a super shock even. Like we'll just put a little bit of a super shock on the tops of my lids right here. Why not? Let's just do it because we can. Like you could just throw a super shock shadow in your bag. You could throw this little 5-pan in your bag and you are good to go. Like this is such a beautiful combination. Or you could just pop like a little bit of a multi-chrome or a duochrome on the inner corner of your lid, and it's so pretty. I do not particularly like this foundation, and I will leave you guys a comment as I wear it throughout the day. But right now, I'm not a huge fan of this. I think it's too glowy, and I think that it's just, it over accentuates and over texturizes my skin quite a bit. And I'm not really the type of person who has really big pores on my face, but I did notice it was over accentuating like a whole bunch of my pores in here. And also it was like settling really funny into my fine lines on my forehead, which I usually don't have a problem with. And I did with this one, and it also oxidized a little bit. So not really a fan of this right now. I'm going to test it out more, but I will let you guys know in the comment section down below how it wore throughout the day and what I think at the end of the night, like when I'm washing it off. And let's talk about this blush, because it really feels like super glowy, I honestly, okay, hear me out for a minute. I think I would have a different opinion of this if I wasn't wearing like a super glowy foundation. So I'm not gonna, I think it is a really glowy blush, but I think if I had a matte foundation on, this would look a lot better, because it's just too much glow, too much dew with like the glow of the foundation and like all that. I really think it's beautiful, and it did sheer out really nicely, and it does give me this like natural glow. So I'm going to try it with a matte foundation and see how I feel about that. But I think that the Beam Bright blush is really beautiful, especially when it's paired with that Beam Bright highlighter, and I just get this like very beautiful lit from within look. But overall, we have some duds. We have some really good product. I'm really excited. There's kind of a mishmash of things in this video, but I really liked what I tried today. I will leave you guys a comment down below, and definitely go check it out so you guys can see my final thoughts after I'm done wearing it. So if you guys haven't already, I hope you guys consider subscribing before you go, and I hope I get to see you in my next video. Bye!